Yes, I got some concerns. I've had a meeting with Mr. Liker on the 4A and 4B board this past week, and I would just like since this was adopted in 1997, we're looking at 25 years that the 4A and 4B board have been operating. Can you tell me how much money's been lost during that time? Including Carter Copters to start with?
Counselor, this is council comments. I think that goes beyond just being able to state facts and policies that I think that's something.
The public needs to know this.
It's not something we can really answer
You can't
right
answer
now.
this for the public?
Hey, Steve.
No.
No, hold on.
There.
No. Hey, this is my meeting. I'm not asking you to walk out.
The public needs to know.
You're able to email, call.
All right, y'all can call Leo Lane, the president of the 4A board. You can call him. Who's the president of the 4B board? You can call him. Let them tell you what the truth's really going on here. The money that's been spent, they've lost money. They have not got any money back from Carter Copters, $4 million. That's a lot of money. That could go towards road projects. That could go towards infrastructure. We got businesses downtown right now that you're giving fines to for sidewalks, for trees that were planted 50 years ago. Do you not want to help them people do their sidewalks?
We
you want to give this money away?
We're using 4B grant money for
No, wait a minute.
sidewalks.
Carter Copters has lost money. That's $4 million. How much did we give the trucking company?
Steve, we're talking
Zero.
about projects.
How much did we give the mattress company?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we'll be happy
We've
to
got
meet
a
with
problem
you
with the 4A and
over all
4B
this.
board.
And I would just remind everyone that the 4B and the 4A boards are open to the public. We have public meetings. We post the agendas. The budget's published. The budgets are audited. They come through all of you all. So if anybody has any questions about 4A or 4B, I'd be happy to sit down and meet with them.
Please call Darren Liker,
Absolutely.
4A and 4B board.
Your mic's off. Your mic's still off.
Would the public please call Darren Liker and the 4A and 4B boards and ask them how much money they've lost in the last 25 years?
So you have the opportunity, and grandstanding during public comments is one thing, but I'll
The
let
public needs to know, Mayor.
the public has the opportunity at every meeting we have to show up. Just as you see, as I went down the list, do we have any public comments? We had a gentleman today that was not in favor of the trail. He was able to voice that. He was able to voice his opinion. They're able to meet with Darren Liker. They're able to meet with any counselor, the mayor, yourself. So the public isn't, kept from us.
People in the blind where they don't know what's going on.
4A meetings are public, 4B meetings are public.
Why don't you change the quorum so I can't go to one?
We did, your mic's still off.
Why'd you change the quorum where I'm not on a 4A, 4B board when I asked to be on in November of 2018 when I got elected?
That's a state law, Steve. We're only allowed to have so many members.
Yeah, you just got your pet peeves, that's all.
Okay. Well, I mean, and like I say, Steve has like I always say, it's his right, his constitutional right to say whatever he needs to right here at this forum. I don't think, for the public's sake, this is where this was not meant to vent. It was meant to ask.
This is exactly where they need to know to vent.
I am
Because
still
they need to
speaking,
know the
Steve.
truth.
I am still speaking. If any citizen,
Speaking or not.
Well, Mayor, I'd like to reiterate again, this is a public comment. It's not a discussion item. Honestly, the counselors can say what they want to say, but we can't get into a discussion on and answer questions or go back and forth on these specific agenda items.
If we can add, we can add things to future agendas.
Yes, yes.
With council support per your policy. And that would be the other suggestion I would have. If you want a staff report on a particular issue or something, there's a process for that. That way we can advertise it and let the public know where
I
we're
got
going to
one more
discuss.
question. Is there anybody sitting up here right now that's received 4A money or 4B board money?
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm just asking.
Not that I'm aware of.
Thank you.
and all those can be emailed. Steve, or any council, I'll speak to council. it's not my turn to speak, but I'll just speak. If anybody has any questions, you know, in regards to anything we're doing, I would say you couldn't meet a more transparent council or group of guys through 4A and 4B. Everything is readily available. You're able to ask for those things and give them to your constituents. If Steve wants to ask for, you know, historical losses on 4A, he's able to ask those questions, and he's able to get that information to his constituency. Screaming it through a microphone, and I'll give it to you right now. I don't think Darren Lacker or past presidents are going to be able to tally that up in their head right now. We just want to make sure that if you have something you need, surely request it. I don't think he's ever denied a request from you. You know, 4A, 4B. If the public wants to contact those individuals, I believe that's on our website. Their contact information is. If you can't ever get a hold of one of those members, you can contact me. So we want to remain transparent. That's one of our goals. If anybody has any questions, they can surely ask. Steve, you still have that, you know, same opportunity as being on council. You have a little more access. You can ask for anything you want from any staff member here in the city of Wichita Falls, and they'll surely give you that information. I don't think there's any hiding going on. But
Another opportunity for the public is open records requests.
Yep.
I mean, we process hundreds a month, correct, Marie? So it's well used, and it's a good process to track all that. So I would encourage folks to use that as well.
Okay, Marie, I want public records on all losses on the 4A and 4B boards.
You'll have to do that in writing by law.
I can do that.
yeah, that's simple. There you go.
And Steve, you may recall, you mentioned not being invited to 4A and 4B meetings. You get every single packet. You never once call us and ask questions about the packet.
No,
You also get
because
invited.
you told me I could come up here and sit and wait if nobody showed up. I'm sorry, my time's more valuable than coming
Okay.
up here and sitting here and waiting to see if I can go back
That's
there.
okay, that's fine. We also have called you personally to let you know if there wasn't a quorum, so you could attend,
I've been to 3.
and you never come.
I've been to 3. That's the only ones I've been invited to.
We'll continue to do that in the future, but as the mayor said, we have a quorum law. It's a state law that we have to adhere to.
Yeah, you
So
changed it up, so I couldn't do it.
I didn't change it. That's state law.
I asked to be on it, and you changed up the quorum and put other people
I
on
don't
the
know,
board
if do you
besides
understand
me.
do you understand what a quorum is? I don't know if we don't understand that term. Well, I didn't change it up, but there are counselors that are, you know, I give those council assignments, and that's something that I'm able to do. And I asked 2 counselors that I thought would help contribute to 4A and 4B to sit as my liaisons. I don't know where, I didn't change up the quorum. And you do serve on some boards, which I'm sure you show up to. But, you know, I don't think there's anything on this council that's ever been hidden, you know, 4A or 4B. We actually get the agenda. We vote on every single item. It's in every single packet you receive. If you ever want any supplement information, all you have to do is email. You can get any kind of supplement information. And you also have the right to sit down with every one of those board members if you want. If you want to sit down with Leo Lane, Tony Fideli, any of those board members, you have that right also. I'm just not real sure where you're not getting information because it is literally emailed to us several times before we even vote on it. We have the time to look at it, review it, come to this meeting, and vote on it. And if we don't know what we're looking at or we have questions, we have the right to email those board members directly. I can imagine every single one of those board members would sit down with you and explain to you why they're doing what they're doing at 4A and 4B. I don't know if you've reached out to any of those members at all.
I had lunch with Leo Lane.
Okay, so you had lunch with Leo Lane. I just don't know what other information you want that you requested that you haven't received. But I mean, like Darren says, there's nothing that we do here at the public or vote on that you're not able to ask for and receive. I think we'll gladly give it to you. But shouting some, I want 25-year historic data and asking them right now is kind of tough. It's kind of tough for, you know, anybody to, you know, extrapolate from the brain and then tell you right off the bat. I do believe citizens have a right to know everything that we do up here. You are correct in that. Citizens get to know everything that we do. Nothing's hidden. But, you know, and if this is your forum for venting, that's fine. But I can't see where there's anything that you've asked for, any meeting. I've asked you for, I don't know, half a dozen meetings, events. I mean, you don't show up to a lot of things. So Anything you want to know, and I didn't change any quorum, that's a state law. I do have people that I have directed to sit on different boards and commissions. If you've ever felt that you're shunned off a board or commission, you could always talk to me about that, but screaming at me here at a city council meeting, I don't think is very constructive. We can always sit and talk about any of these things. I understand you've got a lot of frustrations from your citizenry. The people in your district are asking you to tell you about this, but even Carter Copper, there are things I think in the past that we've done through economic development. That's why I want to reiterate while Henry is here, the things that we don't do anymore. There's protections that we have for the citizens, just for those reasons. Before council, before any of us were sitting up here, maybe Michael Smith, he's been here quite a while, but for the most part, before any of our tenures, a lot of these things that have happened, but I think, learning from mistakes in our past, correcting those, and now bringing like today, something that you voted for, and I think you voted yes on the Clayton Homes. I think Henry and those guys did a good job, and I think 4A did a good job. Even the 4A members that are sitting today aren't the same 4A members that were sitting during Carter Copter. We have new members now. But to scream at this current 4A board and current 4B board if you want to call mistakes of the past or learning things that we've learned in the past, that's tough to do because a lot of those members that we have here today weren't members that voted for that stuff.
Maybe the members in the past were more concerned with how the money was spent.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You're screaming about Carter Copter, and that's for members from the past, not the
$4
current
million
members.
worth.
Okay, so anything you want, are we in agreement that you can ask Darren for, and then do a public records request for Marie?
Okay, how much money is going to be borrowed against 4A board for the convention center?
Any question you want. This is council comment. I don't know, Kenley, are we allowed to ask that?
Yes, you are.
Steve, we went over that Friday.
I know,
at
up
our
to
meeting.
$19 million.
Yeah.
I'm
and
just
that-
making it public.
And that was published
Up
in
to
the newspaper.
$19 million.
It
We have
is
a public
We're going to
hearing.
borrow against 4A bonds.
Potentially. No?
No.
4B.
4B, excuse me.
I'll meet with you again next Friday, like
be
we did
fine.
Friday, and we can
I'll
go
be
over it
there.
all again.
I mean, we will conduct a public hearing, which is public,
Absolutely.
and it's published in
Published in the newspaper.
a public paper. So a lot of the times you say there's things that we don't have in the public. We let the public know along the way. We don't see a lot of the public attending these meetings, which is fine, but if public, and they realize for me, or any of our council members, I mean, you ever told a citizen that they couldn't talk to you? They have the opportunity just like everybody else. We continue, by law, to publish things in the newspaper. Today, we had 3 public hearings on some very, small items, but we're still required by law to have public hearings. So when you say the public doesn't know, the public does have opportunity, besides the fact that their own representation has been known about this along the way. Every Friday, we get an update, anytime that something's coming up. You also get your agenda, which is public and is given to you, which you're a public figure, you're an elected official. So you're handed this information constantly. And you can't say that we hide things from the public when they're actually given to you, and you are able to send it to anybody or direct them to a website or any number of emails or addresses or phone numbers. I mean, you couldn't get
Believe
any
me,
more
there's
public.
plenty been watching.
That's awesome. I love that we have watchdogs. But you can't say that it's not public. Every bit of the information we do is public. And then we come here in front of the public, broadcast on a couple of different media outlets, and state this stuff publicly once again. So if we're doing something that you'd like to see changed along the way, where it's not, it's more public than what we do, I'm all ears. But for right now, I think we followed the letter of the law, and I think Kenley would agree that anything that we do when it comes to 4A, 4B, amending the budget, we all do publicly and not behind closed doors. And
The Texas Comptroller just awarded us a transparency award.
Yep.
Few cities in the state have that. We have that. So that's another third party that's looked at the way we conduct business and have awarded us the highest transparency award their office gives.